C-Fan Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fan. I'm Dave. This is Kevin. Welcome to Seahawks Weekly here at C-Fan Sports. Now, before we jump into our illustrious Seattle Seahawks, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bells, give us thumbs up, give us thumbs down, and make sure you leave comments down below. I'm sure I'm going to spit some stuff out that's going to make you guys comment, because Kevin has already yelled at me like 4 times in our pre-production meeting. So let's go ahead. Let's recap the overtime clunker in Pittsburgh that happened last Sunday night. The first half. Kevin, do you have thoughts on the first half other than
no?
Kevin is trying to keep things somewhat PG and already swore like 7 times, and we can't do that. So yeah, the first half we did not see a lot of good out of either the offense or the defense. We were down in 14-0 hole. Then we came out, we discovered the run game, and we drove and we were able to establish 20 points that way. And then Pittsburgh said, okay, we're going to just run the ball. We're going to stack the box, and you guys are going to have to, throw on us. And unfortunately, we were not able to successfully do that. But I tell you what, there's some things in that second half that made me feel good. Alex Collins, number 1.
Yes.
Gerald Everett, number 2.
Yeah.
And Trey Brown, number 3. Those 3 players right there, watching them do what they did. Gerald Everett we've got to figure out a way to get the ball in his hands more.
Absolutely.
100. And second, Alex Collins, if we can figure out a way to keep him healthy and not, beat him to death, throw him up against that brick wall a million times, I think he's got potential, and then Trey Brown, just watching his instincts, watching him be on one guy and then come off of him and make probably one of the biggest tackles this season for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
Again, and we lost that game, an away game in Pittsburgh without Russell Wilson. And I tell you what, for a half of football, we showed up.
Correct.
Kevin, your remarks.
I think Trey Brown is going to take the starting position away from Sidney Jones. Just outstanding. The kid is reactive and instinctive and just a baller. And boy, he was solid. I've always thought that our running backs could be really good. I always liked Alex Collins, but we're going back to the same thing we talked about all preseason, or I did anyway. The running back position scared me the most on the team, and look what's going on. Chris Carson's injured. Rashard Penny's finally coming back, but he was injured. Now Alex Collins is hurt. So I don't know. We need somebody that can run the ball and stay healthy. And that needs to be a priority.
Well, we're going to wrap a bow on the Pittsburgh game. And again, it just kind of all boils down to Geno making a mistake with the football in the closing minutes of a football game that cost us that game.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit more about the quarterback position here in a second, but very, very frustrating game, to be honest with you. And I don't know if you remember what my predicted score was, Kevin. I'm pretty sure it was 24-20. I just had the teams flip-flopped.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So now we head into the off week, or the week that follows after that. And, kind of sliding in inconspicuously, Seattle makes a move this week.
Yep.
And I think it's very important for us to take a few seconds here and discuss the impact of Jacob Eason being claimed off of waivers by your Seattle Seahawks. Now, why would they take Jacob Eason? He's not a starting level quarterback.
Nope.
Not at this point right now. He was a 4th rounder last year. He's got a live arm. He's out of the University of Washington. Okay.
I know that's my team, but
That is your team.
I am not a fan of Jacob Eason. Sorry.
You may not be, but I have a feeling that Schneider and Carroll are.
Yes, I do agree with
I
that.
have a feeling on top of that they feel that Jacob Eason, if the end of the season comes and we run into another off season of turmoil where we end up by having to eat Russell's $20 million that we're going to owe him for next year, and end up by trading him next season, that we have a guy that they feel that they can groom and come in here and actually be a competent level quarterback next season. Seattle had to figure something out. They had to put something in motion to where they have some sort of a plan as far as going forward with a quarterback not named Russell Wilson. Kevin, do you have any thoughts other than you can't stand Jacob Eason?
I have a lot of thoughts. The kid has an arm. There's nobody can take that away from him.
I've seen him. He's got two, Kevin.
Well, he's got two arms, but he can throw the deep ball. He's just really outstanding. His problem, and even with when he was with University of Washington, his problem is between his ears. And he just does things that you're like, why is he doing that? And he's frustrating. I'm not excited about this move, but he does have a good arm, and you're not taking that away from him. So if he can figure out and get straight and get right and be able to read the defenses, he could be a dangerous weapon. Absolutely.
There was a kid once drafted to the Atlanta Falcons, Kevin, that everybody thought, shoot, this kid is going to be pretty good. And the Atlanta Falcons got him in and were like, okay, this kid's not going to be very good. So they traded him to the Green Bay Packers. And I think he turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Brett Favre turned out pretty well. So you know what? Maybe Seattle made another stellar move, and maybe it was just another move that it's gonna fizzle out. But I think this Jacob Eason move has a lot more to say about the future of the Seattle Seahawks for 2022-2023 season more than it has to do with the 2021-22 season. So,
Agreed.
With all that being said, Monday night, we're at Lumen Field. We're going to be bringing in the New Orleans Saints, and again, another quarterback that was supposed to be good that was given up on him by his team. Jameis Winston went and sat behind Drew Brees and has come out and he's actually played fairly well so far this season. Okay.
Agreed.
So he's bringing his crew into Seattle, and Kevin, I'm more optimistic about this game than I really was the Pittsburgh game, because they're coming across the country to our house.
Yep.
They're coming on Monday night, and not only that, but they're coming to a team that's pretty pissed off, Kevin.
And the fans are pissed off too right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't happy right now in the Seattle land,
including
Kevin.
us.
Do you have any quick thoughts before we get into X factors on this game?
Yeah, I just had a few thoughts. I mean, one, can the Hawks defense stop Kamara? I mean, that is my first thought, because if we can do that, we have a very good shot of winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I know you're probably going to rephrase this a little bit, but can our defensive ends get solid pressure on Winston to make him do boneheaded plays that we're used to seeing him make?
Yep.
So, we have to get pressure on these quarterbacks. People like one of my defensive player of the game, he needs to step up. So that's kind of why I'm picking him, because hopefully he's frustrated with everybody else. And number 3, can Geno carry this team? The Saints have the number 2 defense on the run stopping and number 7 defense overall. So in my opinion, I don't know if we can do what we did in the second half of the game against Pittsburgh, against New Orleans. So it leaves it in Gino's hands, and that scares me.
Well, I'm going to answer your 3 questions real quick, Kevin.
All right.
All right. Can we stop Alvin Kamara? I think that falls in Bobby's hands more than it does anybody else. So
Yep.
Bobby against Alvin. And the last time Alvin Kamara was in Seattle, he ran roughshod over Seattle. I mean, we were favored to win that game, and they came in and they punched us right in the mouth.
Yep.
1. Number 2, and that was without Drew Brees, mind you.
Yes.
If you remember correctly.
Yep.
Number 2, I think that, yes, getting pressure on Jameis Winston is going to be paramount. However, I think he will do what he's going to try to impress in this game. It's a nationally televised game. He's going to try to push things a little bit, and I think he's going to make a couple of mistakes. And we can't just let the ball bounce off our face mask.
Right. Jamal.
Third, Jamal. Third, I think that, again, we've got to figure out creative ways to run the football and not put it into Jameis Winston's hands. And one of the things I'd like to see him do, since they don't have Eskridge right now, because that is taking far too long for a concussion to heal up.
Yep.
I think they've got to get Dorsett the ball on those fly sweeps and let Dorsett with his blazing speed. That's why we brought him back. He's got the same kind of speed as Eskridge, maybe not as fast, or it's got kind of the cutting ability, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 rebuttals to your 3 questions. So without further ado, Kevin, let's get into our X factors, give them a score on this game, wrap it up with a nice little bow, and we will move on to Monday Night Football. So, Kevin, who is your offensive X factor of the week?
My offensive X factor / special teams is DJ Dallas.
Okay.
I don't trust Penny. I like the guy. I just don't trust him staying healthy the entire game. I think DJ Dallas is going to have an unbelievable game, whether it's coming out of the backfield to catch some passes or it's running. Because when he spelled Alex Collins last week, I thought he did a really, really good job. So DJ Dallas is my guy.
Well, Kevin, unfortunately, you're wrong. And I love you as a brother, but you know what?
No,
me,
I'm not
I'm
wrong.
going to take the San Diego State product, and I'm going to bet on Rashad Penny. I think Rashad is going to look at this game and say, this could be the last big, good shot that I have to be a quality NFL starting running back. And I am going to have to bring it. And he's fully healthy, 100%. He's had a great week of practice, great 2 weeks of practice, according to Pete Carroll.
Right.
So I think that Rashad Penny, this is his week. I think he comes out and he rushes for 120 yards and has 30 yards through the air. That's my prediction. I know. Call me crazy.
Yes, crazy is the word
Crazy.
I was thinking.
I tell you what, if you think I'm crazy, drop it in the comments down below, because I tell you what, on Tuesday morning, I'll be telling you all.
Yeah. All right.
Wrong. All right. So Rashad Penny for me, DJ Dallas for Kevin. Kevin, let's move to the defensive side of the ball. Who do you like as your X factor over there?
My X factor is Carlos Dunlap.
Ooh.
The guy has got to show up. I'm tired of it being, Taylor, or it being somebody else, because nobody else is doing it besides Taylor. Dunlap has to show up, and this is the game that he's going to do it. Sorry.
So yeah, there we go. Carlos Dunlap for Kevin is going to be his X factor. Mine is going to be a rookie, and he's going to be a defensive back by the name of Trey Brown. That boy, again, I was so impressed by him. I think he comes out. Not only this week does he play an outstanding game, but I think he's going to get his first interception of the season. Dare I say, pick 6. Just what I'm thinking. Might happen, might not, but that's what I'm thinking coming up this week, Kevin. Kevin, what is your score going in?
Seahawks 20, the Saints 17. And the reason why is because I think Winston's going to do one of those boneheaded plays and could be Trey Brown taking it to the house.
I don't know. I think our defense is going to be pissed off. I think they're going to be mad. They're going to be flying to the ball. So I am going to call this a defensive game. I'm going to say 17-16. Seattle wins in a absolute slugfest, defensive slugfest, running the ball. Kevin, I only got 2 words for you. What are they?
Go Hawks.